Welcome, everyone, to the Apoco-Larry podcast. I'm Steve. He is
Lorenzo Di Rigardo.
Are we doing a different bit of scripture tonight, or like what are we doing?
We are doing the Italian job of this. No, I had a sister that called me that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why.
Okay.
And I always kind of liked it.
Okay. Yeah, it has a lovely flair to it.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
And and the prophecy guys that think the Antichrist comes out of Italy, there's still a group that think that. And I could be out of Italy then.
Is that because they're anti-Catholic? Is that what?
It's the anti-Pope thing, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so anyway, so I thought I would go with that. I could be Dr. Lorenzo Di Rigardo.
Yeah.
I'd like to go to England and become a sir, or even a mister. Is a mister? I think a mister's before a sir. Because Mr. Elton John, but now he's Sir Elton, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's certain Sir Elton.
But it used to be Mr. Elton John. I think if you got the OBE, Order of the British Empire, then you'd be a mister. But I'm absolutely uncertain. So, as I am with all the biblical stuff we do.
Well, let's jump right in. So 2 Samuel 11, my friend. Let's go. Let's do this.
Yep. This is the one that you hear about a lot, and people don't really never know what to do with it. Yeah. And the idea of her being assaulted by David is actually quite a modern idea.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the story of David and Bathsheba, folks.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. This is the
no,
story
that's fine.
of David
I'm here for you.
We shall read it and then discuss.
Yes. Let's see what names I can make a mockery of today.
I don't think there are any in here.
Oh, don't worry. I will rise to that occasion. Folks, 2 Samuel 11, starting at verse 1. In the spring, at the time when kings go off to war, David sent Joab.
Interesting, just to start off with that's the way wars happened in those days.
Yeah.
Like everybody had to be home to do the crops and things. But once you got the crops in the ground, then you would go off and you could have your wars and things. and usually around harvest time, people would break off their sieges and go back home.
Yeah.
Weird. It's just, yeah. You had to do war as it suited the time, right? Yeah.
In the spring, at the time when kings go off to war, David sent Joab out with the king's men and the whole Israelite army. They destroyed the Ammonites and besieged Rabbah. But David remained in Jerusalem. One evening, David got up from his bed and walked around on the roof of the palace. From the roof, he saw a woman bathing. The woman was very beautiful, and David sent someone to find out about her. The man said, "She is Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite." Then David sent messengers to get her. She came to him, and he slept with her. Now she was purifying herself from her monthly uncleanliness. Then she went back home. The woman conceived and sent word to David saying, "I am pregnant."
Okay. So it's a weird story anyway. And so he's up in the palace wandering around. Now he can see a long way from the palace because he's up above everybody. And he sees this gorgeous girl bathing on the roof and asks about her. Now that wouldn't be completely improper for him to ask about her. But once he finds out that she's a married woman, then all of a sudden is completely improper. And Deuteronomy would have said, if he had relations with her, then they should both be killed.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff going on here. But so this is Bathsheba. Now this is really interesting. The scripture really points to David's sin in this thing. And when it said she was purifying herself from her monthly uncleanness, that was to show that she was not pregnant by Uriah. Yeah, because she had just finished this, and now she comes and sleeps with David, and then she comes back and says, "I'm pregnant." So that's just making it really clear that this is David's fault.
Yeah.
Now some and I even hear this in sermons every once in a while where they go, "No, no, Bathsheba was actually the culprit in this, or at least complicit in this." But they would go as far as to say that she planned this, and that's completely wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in that there's the early Jewish accounts, the Talmud, the Shabbat 56a and Sanhedrin 107, will imply that she was not completely innocent. The suggestion by them, though, is there are a couple things: that she was bathing in a visible place. I don't think that was uncommon, but that's okay. And the other thing they say is that she didn't resist at all. You know, she needed to cry out, but you don't cry out when the king calls you.
Right. Right.
You know, yeah. So anyway, but she did end up with him, and she did get pregnant right away. You know, which is just the luck of the draw on those things.
Right.
Yeah, if I can say that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's whether she got pregnant or not, he's just as guilty.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the pregnancy brings him to the second major sin.
Here we go. Verse 6. So David sent word, sent his, sorry. So David sent this word to Joab: send me Uriah the Hittite. So Joab sent him to David. When Uriah came to him, David asked him how Joab was and how the soldiers were and how the war was going. Then David said to Uriah, go down to your house and wash your feet. So Uriah left the palace, and a gift from the king was sent after him. But Uriah slept at the entrance to the palace with all his master's servants and did not go down to his house.
Yeah. So go down and wash your feet means, go home and relax.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, mackerel, your feet are bad, man.
Yeah. It's like,
Go wash your feet. Washing their feet was a big thing for, Jesus washed their feet even.
yeah.
But Uriah, and he's not even an Israelite, he's a Hittite.
Yeah.
They think he's probably part of David's guard,
Okay.
And has kind of come over to the Jewish people. And the guy is just honorable above, anything else, just
Yeah.
super honorable. And it just makes it so much worse that he's such a good guy.
Yeah, exactly. Verse 10. David was told Uriah did not go home. So he asked Uriah, haven't you just come from a military campaign? Why didn't you go home? Uriah said to David, the ark and Israel and Judah are staying in tents, and my commander Joab and the Lord's men are camped in the open country. How could I go to my house to eat and drink and make love to my wife? As surely as you live, I will not do such a thing.
Yeah. Perfect soldier.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect soldier. Just the guy you want around. And his wife might have been kind of saddened by that, but he won't go near her.
Yeah.
I wonder, they don't, and she's not even important in this story, by the way. Like,
Right.
There's nothing about how she felt about any of this stuff.
Yeah.
She's, oddly enough, she's a minor player.
Yeah.
This is all about David and his sin.
Yes.
And remember, David's a great guy, and he's a wonderful king.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yes, if it was told like we would tell the story of our modern day leaders, this would have never been told.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, verse 12.
Unless I heard about it.
Then we tell everyone. Yeah. Verse 12. Then David said to him, stay here one more day, and tomorrow I will send you back. So Uriah remained in Jerusalem the day and the next. At David's invitation, he ate and drank with him, and David made him drunk. But in the evening, Uriah went out to sleep on his mat among his master's servants. He did not go home.
Yeah. He wouldn't have drank at all, but it's the king asking him to drink. Because before he wouldn't do that. Remember, he said, I won't do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But with the king, what are you going to do? So the king gets him drunk. And even as a drunk, he won't go and sleep with her.
Oh, yeah.
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 This is too good a man to lose.
But wait. Verse 14. In the morning, David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it with Uriah. In it, he wrote, put Uriah out in front where the fighting is the fiercest. Then withdraw from him, so he will be struck down and die.
Yeah. Absolute jackass move.
Yeah. Complete treachery, right? Complete treachery.
Yeah. Complete treachery. Complete, like every leader everywhere always seems to do. There must be a couple that didn't, but
I can't think of many.
I don't.
Verse 16. So while Joab had the city under siege, he put Uriah at a place where he knew the strongest defenders were. When the men of the city came out and fought against Joab, some of the men in David's army fell. Moreover, Uriah the Hittite died.
Yeah, now this suggests that the army also did not obey David. They didn't pull back from him,
Hmm.
right? And they stayed with him, and they all died, or
Hmm.
a few of them died with him.
Yeah,
So I mean, he had good men. He had good men with him, and Uriah was one of them. And then he died out there. It's a it's a very tragic story.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Verse 18. Joab sent David a full account of the battle. He instructed the messenger, when you have finished giving the king this account of battle, the king's anger may flare up, and he may ask you, why did you get so close to the city to fight? Did you not know that they would shoot arrows down from the wall? Who killed Abimelech, son of Jerubbesheth, or Besheth, I guess, something like that? Didn't a woman drop an upper millstone on him from the wall so he died in Thebez? Wow, kind of calling back there.
Yeah.
Why did you get so close to the wall? If he asks this, say to him, moreover, your servant Uriah the Hittite is dead.
Yeah. Yeah. So David's quite upset about the bad way they approached this thing. But then he got the message he was looking for. Uriah is dead.
Right.
Yeah.
The messenger set out, and when he arrived, he told David everything Joab had sent him to say. The messenger said to David, the men overpowered us and came out against us in the open, but we drove them back to the entrance of the city gate. And then the archers shot arrows at your servants from the wall, and some of the king's men died. Moreover, your servant Uriah the Hittite is dead.
Yeah. So he's got his message.
Verse 23, David told the messenger, say this to Joab, don't let this upset you. The sword devours one as well as another. Press the attack against the city and destroy it. Say this to encourage Joab.
Yeah.
Verse 26, when Uriah's wife heard that her husband was dead, she mourned for him. And after the time of mourning was over, David had her brought to his house, and she became his wife and bore him a son. But the thing David had done had displeased the Lord.
Yeah. So now he's brought her into the house. So it seems that she cared. She did a proper mourning, but then that would be normal whether she cared or not, right?
Right.
How could she not care about Uriah? The guy's great.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he is a consummate soldier. He's a good man. And again, people want to put some of the blame on Bathsheba, and some of the Jewish authors did. Some of the later Christian authors did as well. Um, but the scripture really is not putting anything on her. It's concentrating on David.
Yeah.
David's the sinner in this thing. She's whether she wanted to or not, she doesn't have much choice when the king calls you.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was also part of that's a part of the culture at the time, right?
Yeah.
How could she have refused the king?
Yeah.
Who would have
Yeah.
come to her rescue anyway?
Yes. Yeah. When they went over to get her, she had to come.
Yeah.
So I tend to say, no, this is all about David. And I think the scripture writer really, really pushes that this is all about David,
Yeah.
not about her. And so then they have a son. And that's in the next chapter.
Yes.
Yeah. I was
Something.
going to say Nabob comes, but it's Nathan, I think. Nathan.
But he made a lovely cup of coffee, though, that guy.
David, before I tell you this, let's have a coffee.
Now, folks, you probably would have to live in Western Canada to get that joke. So if you're outside of Western Canada, you don't understand what we're talking about, but it's a brand of coffee.
Isn't it Canadian coffee, Nabob? I always thought it was U.S.
It is Canadian coffee. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Because many are called, but precious few are chosen.
Yes. Well done, my friend. Well done, my friend.
Very biblical.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. But the prophet is Nathan. So
yes.
So this is David, and this is the sin that everybody knows. Even if you don't know the Bible, you somehow know about David and Bathsheba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like how you've painted the story for us of this is so out of character for David, But I mean, I love that the scripture contrasts it with how honorable um, Uriah is. He's almost honorable like David was to Saul in some ways.
Yes. Oh, I like that. Yeah, that is so true. That is so true. And David is still a great king,
Yes.
but you don't get away with this thing, like the president of the United States did with, what was his name? The guy who played the saxophone.
Bill Clinton?
Bill Clinton.
Yes.
You know,
Or JFK, maybe,
or
rumored
yeah.
with Marilyn Monroe or
Yeah, no, his was rumored where Clinton's, well, I mean, it was pretty much, it might have been proven,
yeah.
but yeah, but Clinton's was, that was pretty
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
Well, he denied it for a long time, and then
Yeah.
then then he accepted it, and nobody cared.
Yes.
It was weird.
Yes. Yes. Well, we'll find out that David doesn't quite get that same treatment. So that's
No, no.
folks, my friend, thank you so much for that. It's just, um, I think what a great way to view that story of the scripture is really concentrating on David's sin here, not anything else. That we don't need to look past that. We need to look at what David has done and experienced, and because that'll play into what we read in the next chapter. So thank you so much for that. Folks, as always, we love doing this for you. Thank you so much for listening. It's our pleasure, but we're greatly encouraged that we see that you listen to. So we'll be back in a week's time when we'll hit up
And,
2 Samuel 12.
yes,
Go
and
ahead.
you can always listen to Uriah Heep.
Where are you going with this? I'm not even following you
Do
right
you not
now.
know
I
Uriah
do.
Heep?
I don't know this.
I have no idea what their songs are, but I know there's a band called Uriah Heep.
Okay.
We will look that up after the show.
Okay. Well, here we go. So, folks,
They might be honorable.
Yeah.
It might be an honorable band.
yeah. Look for our commentary on Uriah Heep in the next episode. But until then, I was Steve. He was Larry. And this was the Apoco-Larry podcast.